Okay. No more distractions here on Friday, July the 17th. If I look up, I bought this new little light thing, and you want to see how I have it on here without it falling over? Yeah, it's attached to a Coke thingy, but that's to help with the lighting here. Somewhat, not really. You can stop focusing on my hand and focus on my face, or Minxie's buttocks back there. So I was trying to set that up because everywhere I set it up, you could see it in my glasses. I was kind of like, and not only that, oh, my phone went to sleep on me, of course, in the meantime. I was getting ready to sit down and make this video, and there was a deer in the back. So, had to go take pictures of the deer. So, distractions all over the place. But the reason I have decided to make this video today is that I was watching some of the old Power Rangers episodes, some of the like Mystic Force and Jungle Fury, and I was going through all that. And I remember a long time ago when I lived in my apartment on campus, when I went to college, because I made bad decisions. College isn't bad, I guess, if you know what you're going to do and if you have a goal and you don't want to just put yourself in a bunch of debt. Ta-da, here I am. I didn't turn off that setting about the smiles either. Shit. But anyway, I used to have, I had an apartment on campus, and there were these shelves when I moved into the apartment, and that's where I would display things. I got to where, because I didn't really have bills back then, I was living on campus, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So anything, any money, I had my work study, which was, probably supposed to be going to, help me live, whatever. And it did. And probably, smart people would have went ahead and started paying back their loans all the way back then. Not smart. We discussed that just a minute ago. So instead, I would buy like action figures and toys and stuff from my favorite things, and I would set them up on these shelves to kind of display them. And since I've moved from the house, I bagged all this stuff up, and I have them in random bags in the other room. I was kind of curious about them because I was like, I was thinking of all these great things that I used to display on those shelves, and I might have an idea now currently about what I want to do with them. Maybe, perhaps, we'll find out. But I just thought that I would dig through one of these bags and see what was in there, because I don't even necessarily, I was trying to remember, I'm like, did I have Family Guy? Was I displaying Family Guy up there? I don't know. So all these things just kind of got thrown in these bags. So I thought I would go through and just to see the kind of things that I was collecting and displaying at the time, just out of curiosity. And two of them, actually, on the top of this box, or bag, sorry, they have seen better days. They've obviously been sitting in the sun at some point, but it actually was two of the Power Rangers from Mystic Force when they got their legendary mode. As you can see, her face is very pink, but her body is less pink, if you can see the light. And her blue is blue up here on her helmet, but the rest of them not so great. And she does not, her little button, I didn't even know they had a button, but I saw this little thing on the back, and I'm like, well, what was that all about? And I was trying to push on it, and I pushed her. She still works. She still works. And she does the splits. So I had the Power Rangers Mystic Force, and they have their little, I don't know how well it's going to focus in on her little, oh, it even has the little number thingies on it, because I was just watching that episode where they got the legendary mode, and that was one of the things that they had on there was they could push, it was kind of like a little phone. They would push one, or well, they would scroll it, kind of like an old rotary phone is what it was, like 1 or 2 or whatever, and that's how they would, get their little special attack, special move, whatever. But yeah, I think they look pretty badass when they're Mystic Force. I kind of liked the looks, the capes. I didn't mind the capes, Also in this bag, I have, of course, I like raccoons, so I had a raccoon, a little purse, raccoon purse hung up, apparently, at some point, I guess. I don't know. Hell. Now, one of the main things that I got to where I started collecting, there's these old toys called like Migos, and they were like the doll sort of action figure toys, whatever. Kind of like the old, you know, I believe the old G.I. Joe used to be like that big doll thing or whatever. But they re-released them, and I don't remember what they were called. We can look in the other room here eventually. And it's what I should have done before I started the video. You know, me and my professionalism. They started re-releasing Marvel, not Marvel Legends. It wasn't Marvel Legends. That's the action figure series they have now. But they started re-releasing these kind of as like Mego toy kind of things. And I started collecting the X-Men ones. And this is Gambit, of course, if you know the X-Men. So he, you know, he's like a full-size, like Barbie doll size kind of collector thing. And he has his little coat, you know, a full, like, regular fabric coat and whatnot. I believe he also maybe came with his staff, maybe? I don't know. But he throws cards. So I started collecting the X-Men ones of these, and I would display them on those shelves. And I also have in here, well, I don't think that had anything to do with it. For some reason, there's an American Santa Claus in here. I don't even know why that's in that bag. Her hair has gotten kind of wonky over the years, I guess, you know. Probably as a Barbie doll, you know, kind of thing. Maybe I was supposed to keep it combed, but we have Psylocke. See, her hair got kind of ratted and matted over the years. We also have, oh, that's also a Santa. Well, I mean, I knew it was a Santa, but he's like an Irish Santa. I don't know. I just thought this was like a St. Patty's Day, but it's a St. Patty's Day Santa for some reason. We also have, her hair's a little bit wonky too, a little bit, maybe not as bad as Psylocke's, but we also have Rogue with her real life hair and her little, that was one of the things that I always hated about the action figure of these was, like, they always showed Rogue's belt, like, hanging to the side, kind of like this, and then of course you couldn't really do that with the action figure. It would always be like regular like that, so it didn't feel like it was true to the character that her little belt couldn't hang to the side, but now it can with your little whatever the heck this figure is. We have Nightcrawler. I believe I had him hanging up by his, because you can have him hanging up by his tail, so I'm pretty sure I had him hanging up by his tail somewhere up above the world. And also probably, whoa, that fell apart, whatever that was. Also flying high above the everything was Storm, Mistress of the Elements. And her little cape is attached to her hand here, so when she spreads out her hands, her cape spreads out. So she goes, because she's Storm, and she'll whoop your ass with the elements. So I started collecting, and I know I have more of these somewhere, but apparently they're not in this bag. I have I don't know what that is. Those might be the rocks that I said that I was going to show you all sometime. This is like an earpiece. I have an earpiece in here for some reason. Now, the one thing that fell apart, and one of the things that I know that I have two Jokers from something in here. Two Jokers. And a G.I. Joe Gung Ho Grape drink that's in a canteen thing. And then a bunch of rocks, I believe. And this, this went with Psylocke. That didn't go with Psylocke. Oh, sorry. I'm pulling Rogue's hair over here. because that was her, well, how do you put this on here? Now I don't know. But that's part of her power was her, like, oh, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like the totality of her. She always said the same thing over and over and over again with her little psionic whatever psychic knife thing that she used to use. So, well, that belongs to her, but I can't well, her hair will hold it. That's perfect. Her hair will ratty ass fucking hair will hold it. There's a way to put that on there. I just don't know. But that belongs to Psylocke. One of the things I definitely collected at the time, because if you know me, one of my favorite things, even though I came into it very, very late, one of my favorite things is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I came into it season 6. I think there was only actually 7 seasons of it, so I was only watching for the last 2 seasons. So I got pretty hardcore into collecting the Buffy action figures. And the only one that's in this bag, this current bag, this bag right here with the rocks in it that you might be able to see, I don't know, is the Master. And I had to buy a second one of him because this is his arm that's supposed to be right there. I do have a Master, and it might have been one of those things where these action figures didn't, like, you can see there's very little movement in his arm here. I might have moved it a little too far and broke it. That one might have been my fault. I don't know. You know, action figures are supposed to have action to them. But his little knee bends, kind of. So, I didn't really care about the Master. It's kind of one of those things, it goes back to, I always remember Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood would go into the land of imagination, is that what he called it? When the trolley would come out and go to the little thing. And they didn't always show this on the show, but all the different characters that lived in the imaginary kingdom, whatever it was called, I don't really recall, he actually had toys of them up on his shelf. And every once in a while he would get them down, and I'm like, oh, that's the king, or that's the, the little cat puppet or whatever. I mean, I don't remember all the characters exactly. That hasn't stayed in my brain as much as some other things have from my childhood. But he did, and he had like little figurines of all the characters that lived in this imaginary kingdom. He had them like up on his shelf in the kitchen, I believe, or at least at one point. I remember him having them up in the kitchen. So it was kind of like, I mean, to me, I'm a collector anyway. So I start collecting things. So I want to collect all the characters, so to speak. So even though I think I bought the Master with someone else, maybe just to complete the set, I don't really know. But, the characters that I needed obviously were like Buffy and Willow and Xander and, later on. And I think I started not, I didn't necessarily have the money to start collecting those characters, but later on they had like Dawn and Anya. And I don't even know if I got Tara. I don't know if I ever got Tara. If I ever find the bag with them in it, I'll know, but I don't know where that is. At the moment, this just happened to be the first bag that I came across. And, yeah, the rest of that is all rocks. So, this one was mostly just my X-Men Migos, because I think it's kind of cool how they had her. Well, I guess you can detach it if you want to, because all this stuff, I mean, I guess just like regular Barbies, you can get them naked if you want to, I suppose. If that's your thing, whatever you do behind closed doors. But yeah, I think it's kind of cool because when she raises her hands, her little cape comes with her. So, yeah, that's basically it. The X-Men and a couple of Power Rangers. So, good mix, I think. And there goes the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, again, outside. I think it's a leaf blower, I don't know. They started using it the other day when I was making a video. But yeah, so as I find these bags of all these things that I used to display. Hopefully these all fit back in there as nice as they were before. I'll try to, you know, we'll discover them together, because I don't necessarily remember exactly everything that I did collect, because that's what, did I finish that thought a minute ago about, was I collecting the Family Guy characters? I couldn't remember if I had the Family Guy characters or not, but that's what it was. I would try to collect all the different characters from the different things, like having all the sets of the Power Rangers there, or having all the X-Men that I could, or all the Buffy characters that I could, or whatever. Gosh, I don't remember. I don't remember the things that I had up on these shelves, but I do remember buying new characters and adding them to whatever these were. I would, you know, the collection, the display would expand as I was buying new characters, but I don't necessarily remember everything that was up there. But once I find these bags, we will know for sure. And now would be a good time to take you into the other room to show you what I think I might do with them once I figure this out. So they can go ahead and massacre people in Texas or from Texas. I don't know. What I realized I have in here the other day that I've never actually even started using was this old jelly cabinet. That, I mean, it's empty. Well, I mean, I guess I'm storing that in there, but I mean, look at all this space that is just not being used for anything. And look at all of this shit that I've never put anywhere because it's just a bunch of shit and I don't really know what to do with it. So, and there's no deer out there, sorry. But yeah, so I thought, you know, I could store some stuff in the lower quadrants or whatever, but at least, like, even on this shelf, like, there's this door, this, you know, there's this nice, you know, windowed space to display something. And I don't know, since I've never actually used this as a shelf, I'm not sure how sturdy it actually is, so I don't really want to put anything breakable in it. I feel like that would be a smarter move, just to kind of see how it's gonna hold together. I don't know how long this thing has been around. I don't know how sturdy it is. I don't know if the shelves have stood the test of time. So, because I've had it for a while, and I don't know how long it was sitting downstairs at the flea market before I bought it. So I can't really say for sure how sturdy. So nothing really breakable, I feel like, should go in this at one point. My mom's talking about getting rid of Grandpa's old entertainment center, so I may get that someday, and I kind of like, she said to maybe put it here, and I think that would be a good spot to put it once I get all this stuff cleared out, possibly in here, because that would give me more display storage space, because it has, I mean, obviously it has the part where the TV is, but the side of it also has like this, kind of like the jelly cabinet, it has like the wood, or the windowed door that you can, you know, because that's where she has all her trinket boxes and jeweled things that all her pretty things, I guess, as she calls them, that I've bought her for like Christmas and Mother's Day and blah, 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 all this other stuff. So she's talking about getting rid of that. The problem is we're not really sure how to get it down here to me. So figuring that out, because it's maybe not the biggest entertainment center that anyone's ever had, but it definitely is not the smallest either. So having a truck, something that can haul it, would be the fun part. So even more, I need to find these action figures and figure out where all of them went, and what they all are, actually. So, but yeah, here's another thing for me to start and never finish. Like my, you know, I left off with the TV shows. I got somewhere in the middle of my TV shows collection, DVD collections. Never went any further with that. I asked the punishment video that I'm thinking about for myself. We still don't have it in stock, but I asked the department manager this morning, because it says we have like 8 of them on hand. but it's said that for like 2 weeks now, and they've never shown up. So I thought maybe I figured it out last night. I thought maybe they were hiding behind another product that looks similar. Like I was like, well, since this looks similar, maybe somebody put them in here with these, but no, they did not. It was all overstuffed of the wrong, or the right product, but more than should have been there, way more than should have been there. So that I might do one of these days if that ever comes back in stock. And there was something else, but I don't know. Anyway, maybe I'll do another one of these someday. We'll have to see where, because I mean, if you really want to know. Oh, and we can look at this while I head in the other room. So those are ones that you will see at some point. Famous covers. Those are the famous cover series. Well, that doesn't really tell me anything. But there's more of them that you will see someday. And hey, there's the Elvis worm, if you remember him from me talking about him that one time. A long time ago. But yeah, here's more shit that has never gotten anything done with. It got piled in here and piled in here. So, I mean, I did find a way to display some of this stuff, but just kind of setting it around randomly doesn't work. These, there's some bags down here that it might be, and then there's kind of like a bag there, and I don't know. Most of this is like action figures and things that are still in their packages and whatnot, but Lord only knows. Lord only knows. Because I sure don't. But anyway, so if I find more of those, we can explore them together. Anyway, I guess other than that, that's what I got going on. So I'll see you for what I see you.